Melakaliki Harroink is the Werepig's way to say a Merry Christmas to you. Nailed it.
Welcome to the No Pants Zone party. You can join at home. Come along and bring your friends. Here the party never ends. Welcome to the No Pants Zone. Never have to feel alone. Go ahead and shake your butt. No one here will give a fuck. Welcome to the No Pants Zone. Welcome to the No Pants Zone. Welcome to the No Pants Zone. Welcome to the No Pants Zone.
Hey, welcome to the Funky Werepig, recorded live in the No Pants Zone. Throw those pants in the air like you just don't care. It's Christmas Eve here in the MPZ studios, and like the good Catholic boy I am, I just got back from church. I can't wait to go back at Easter. And, Santa Claus has always surprised me with my moon pies and the Post-it notes and the underwear scented candle. Godly freshness. But this year, we all get a Kickbahookie gift. My guest tonight is KASEY Lansdale. You'd search hard to find someone who can excel in as many different creative outlets as she does. She's a versatile actor with TV, with film, with voiceover work. She's also an author. And later on the show, KASEY is going to sing one of her top hits. KASEY, are you there? Do you want to say hello to everybody?
Hey guys, it's KASEY Lansdale. How are ya?
I'm a big fan of your music. Never Say Never is one of my favorites, and Sorry Ain't Enough, that's an anthem now for women everywhere. The latest one, Good Girl, that crushes it. Which one are you going to sing for us?
And that's how the good girl, bad girl, good boy thing gets started.
Fair enough. What a magical time of year it is, huh? All the piggy petters out there celebrating Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and Yule. And as always, you piggy petters went way overboard with your gifts this season. Thank you very much. You always make me smile. I've already gotten a few of them in advance, including this dude here, which is from my BFF Maggie, who sends me something fun every year. This is, as you can see, a decorative, festive, holiday ostrich that is just such a cute. A what? Llama. This particular breed is a llama ostrich, which is always good to know. This is typical of Maggie. It's not important what breed it is. It's the fact that it won't stop ticking. Check this present out. It's a Jesus nightlight. Yeah, because piggy petters know I have ghosts in my bathroom. And now for the true meaning of the holidays. It's time for my morning coffee. And I can't think of a better gift than to have it with my two favorite people, Boychild 1.0 and Boychild 2.0. This is indeed a rare treat. Oh man, hey, remember when you guys were little dudes and I'd have to hose you off in the shower? Remember the song I taught you guys? Oh, we wash the butt. You gotta wash that butt. Oh, we wash the butt. You gotta wash that butt. You know what's so cool is I can tell that story now and it doesn't even embarrass you guys at all. So, and then I taught you guys to stand up, do that little dance when you shake your little tush.
Dad, do not stand up.
No pants zone. No pants zone.
You two are a hoot. People clicked forward to KASEY minutes ago. Nobody's watching this part. So, look, boys, let me be serious for a second. I know we usually communicate through Post-it notes, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. Oh, hell. I love it when we talk like this.
Dad, we're right in the next room.
You might not appreciate it now, but one day you're going to have children of your own. And when you do, you'll understand how important it is when you get to spend quality time together.
We're literally 20 feet away.
Take your headphones off and come sit next to us.
Look at you guys taking charge. Look at my boys. Look at them. You're growing up right before my eyes.
Dad, this is ridiculous. Hey, look, I'm waving to you.
Just turn your head.
Back at you. Right back at you. I love you, Zoom. Thank you for bringing me and my sons closer together. I hate to cut the boy short like that, but here he is live on Zoom via satellite. Our good old musical director, JJ Glamour. JJ, how are you, sir?
Oh, is that the doorbell? Ding dong.
You have me at a disadvantage, I admit. So, JJ, fan mail keeps pouring in, and you're top of the game again. The number one question we received this month is, if you have time to answer a question, everybody wants to know what's in the closets behind you. We see them all the time. What do you keep in those closets?
I have no idea. See, this is my neighbor's house. I come in here when they're not here and I, do the show. Of course, I also provide a service. I, keep an eye on the place. They don't know I'm doing it, but I think when they find out, they're going to be pretty grateful because that's the kind of good neighbor that I am.
You are nothing if not a good man. JJ, jam-packed show as usual. KASEY Lansdale, a whole bunch of other surprises coming up. So if you would, play us out and add a little bit of that special JJ holiday magic, if you would.
Here's a song I call I Thought We Had a Bond, parentheses, honor my coupon.
Subscribe to the Funky Werepig and let the music and the laughter drop right into your hands. Coming up in January, Midnight Munchies with Zombie Zach, our Kick Bahookie Barnyard Bash season finale, and if we have time, we'll discuss The Legend of Banjo Dick. I promise. Behold the Magic Farmers Incorporated! Speak, Moo Cow! Speak!
You're not the boss of me!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to AWE,
American Wrestling Amalgamated. Oh, damn!
Behind the commentator's desk tonight, I'm the Professor Blet Matuba, and to my left is 5-time champion, 109-time loser, Hall of Fame wrestler, the Masticator, Coco Starthor.
You gonna eat that?
Ha! You cheeky Willy Twigger, you get me with that every time.
We'll be coming to you tonight as crown drawings because of my 37 ongoing paternity suits.
And I'm just plain but ugly.
Tonight we have one hell of a lineup.
The creepy cryptid Big Mango fights Walmart greeter Beaker Thunderthong.
This is only a 10-minute match because Beaker on a lunch break. In the women's division, we got a frying pan and taser match between Mammy Origami and Sweet Judy Junk Punch.
In the Brittle Bones division, we have octogenarians Sappy Pats versus Uncle Frankie. We use big letters because old people can't see.
The Pee Wee division brings us Little Donna Diva and Richie I Just Changed You Scott in a Falls Count Anywhere match. It's live from a tube maze and ball pit of an abandoned Chuck E. Cheese. It's all socks, psychos, and soilage. Ah!
But first up tonight is our reigning champion Nevada Bob, as he defends the Universal Domination Galactic All Utah YMCA USA AWE.
Oh, damn!
Championship belt against the most devious of surprise challenges.
Here's Nevada Bob with our own on-the-spot reporter, Ogden Schmaltz.
I'm reporter Ogden Schmaltz, and I'm Nevada Bob.
Inspirational words from an inspiring hero.
Ubiquitous!
You bet!
the champion, Nevada Bob.
The challenger, a chair.
This chair hails from the land of IKEA.
The chair is the most dangerous inanimate object.
Very true, but oh, Nevada Bob's been tripped.
He got the Dick Van Dyke treatment.
He has to get back in the ring or he's going to lose.
He's going to lose that belt.
Get him in there. Oh, my Lord. Let's run that back on instant replay from a completely different take.
The champ is going full Adam West.
The chair's trying desperately to fight back, but it can't. It's just a chair.
Nevada Bob's like an Episcopalian with a weed whacker.
And Nevada Bob retains. That concludes another showing of American Wrestling E-Malgamated.
It has been one hell of a night.
Thank you, one. Thank you all.
We will see you next Sunday, right after church.
On AWE.
Oh, damn.
Fact: Columbus Day, 1966, Blessing, Pennsylvania. 3-year-old Ugly Joe Barrett murdered his family, then disappeared. Fact: machete, chainsaw, improper insertion of a tire pump. For over 50 years, horrifying unsolved murders have been filed under Ugly Joe, a serial killer who only leaves behind crayon drawings. Really good crayon drawings. Fact: in order to survive, you need the facts. Order Gregory L. Hall's The Legend of Ugly Joe off Amazon today and save yourself. Everyone else can buy their own damn copy.
And now, what in the hell is wrong with Greg?
Your idea is too radical. You can't change a million years of history. New Year's has always been on January 1st. First, culture is much older and wiser, like the pirate community. They don't give a damn about nothing. If you would like JJ Glamour to write a song to someone you know, then dedicate it and sing it on the Funky Werepig, contact us at monkeyflingingpoo924@gmail.com. Include the person's name and a quote, an inside joke, or message you'd like to hear in JJ's lyrics.
If the song becomes a hit, JJ shares nothing with you, not a penny.
Dedicate a song at monkeyflingingpoo924@gmail.com.
Yes, this is real. Send me your stuff, like today. Got a dedication right now, and this one goes out to you, Dale. Dale, Dale, he could eat an ice cube and still get gas. Dale, Dale, here's a box of Kleenex, go plug up your...
I'm going to brag because I got you guys one of the best holiday presents you can imagine. Our guest tonight, I've had the chance to party with her in the past, was so glad when she agreed to come on to the YouTube version of the show. That's what the big boys call it now. She's an amazing actress. She is a singer-songwriter who I deem as one of the most powerful voices of this next cool generation moving up that's going to take over everything. And she's at the head of the line. She's an author. She's an editor. And she goes by the name KASEY LANSDALE. Let's say hey to her. There she is right over there.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. That was a very kind intro. Thank you.
Oh, you've earned every bit of it. You are one of my favorite talents to watch because not only do you do everything and do it well, but you're constantly evolving. I mean, it's a lot of people, you know, and we all know them. We've all been them, where you find that thing that works. And then, you know, 6 years later, you're still doing that because it still works. And I've never seen you do that. I've never
Those
seen you
people
do
are smarter. We want to be those people.
Well,
Those
yeah, but then
people who
if
stay healthy, you know.
if you were those people, or if everybody was those people, you wouldn't have the Beatles, you wouldn't have, you know, Prince. On the other side, you wouldn't have the Meryl Streeps or the Scorseses or, you know, all the
You
people
know,
that.
I just don't think I'm made to sit still, and that's both a blessing and a curse, and also been an interesting discovery throughout this time period. More than any other time, we're having to sort of sit still and focus inward, and it's been an interesting journey creatively as well as personally, as I'm sure it has been for many of the people.
Do you sit there and say, damn it, I got to take a break from music. I need to do me some editing.
You know, I do, but it's not always a conscious decision. I would say there have been moments where it's been a conscious decision of I'm sort of burnt out in this area and I'd like to shift. But what usually happens is there's an opportunity that's presented, and I say yes to the opportunity, and then I figure out how to do it after, because I think that's, you know, that's this whole creative business. It's like when you go on an audition. Oh, can you juggle on a tricycle? Absolutely. And then you get home and you're like, you know, throwing oranges, hoping you can figure out how to do it. You seize the opportunity because you might not get another one. And sometimes when you take those opportunities, you go, oh my God, that was really fun. You know, I've been doing some audiobook narration and some story narration, some VO, and all of that came because I was asked to do it once. It never occurred to me to use my voice in that way, but it was a perfect fit. It's in the fiction world. I get to use my voice. I get to work in my pajamas. These are all things that I love that really suit me. So getting the opportunity to voice for one story then opened up the doors to do other narrations that I never would have considered. So that's a perfect example of something that was not on my radar. And suddenly someone said, hey, I think you should do this thing. Do you want to do this thing? Okay. And that turned into a whole other career avenue.
You have narrated, I did not know this, and I think this is fitting maybe what you're talking about. You narrated Stan Lee and George R.R. Martin projects?
Yeah, actually, George R.R. Martin was the guy who, if you will, got me in the biz. I don't remember if it was agent or I think it was the producer of the audiobook. And she said, we need a Cajun Southern style voice. And George thought you would be perfect for this. Would you like to do it? And well, first of all, George Martin just asked me to do something. Yes. Second of all, that sounds cool. Third of all, that is right in my wheelhouse because obviously. And, you know, you just change the R up a little bit and you're kind of set. So I got that opportunity, and it was a bigger undertaking than I understood it was going to be, because not only was it a Cajun voice, it turns out it was also an Aboriginal voice. There was British accents. There was Cajun there was a lot more accents than I anticipated that I had not studied.
And you had to do them. You had to do all of them.
I had to do all of them. And it was interesting. And I learned a lot, and I wish I could do it over now that I've had the experience. But, you know, such is the way. Every time you do a project, you go, oh, I could have done that better. But that opened up the doors for other opportunities. So then once George asked me to do that, I was able to start putting together a reel. And then I also had some audio footage from when I had done some voiceover work for commercials and things like that.
You'll notice that we've now switched positions, so it looks a little weirder now. Doesn't match up with the proper edits, and that's because KASEY has agreed to do. This is a mini series. This is a mini series, so this is over.
Buckle up.
Yeah, this is over a week-long span. We touch in every day to cover all the ground we need to cover, and it never occurred to us that we're like continuity. Wear the same clothes, all the time.
We got this.
But then we never realized we should keep the same backgrounds.
Yeah.
Do you ever shock yourself and by that I mean, yeah, not like I actually had a cousin who used to French kiss an electrical socket when he was a kid, shoot his ass across the floor. And we thought it was funny, but he's older now, and you could tell
Damage is done.
Yeah, it stayed with them. So no, not shocking like that way. But the things you have done in your career already, because you've got many, many, many more things to bring. The things you've done in your career already, do you ever forget you've done things and then channel surf and all of a sudden, see maybe a particular Christmas movie you did?
Oh God. Yeah. You know what? It really is true though. I sometimes, especially when I'm having moments where I'm hard on myself and I go back through photos or even the Google, I see things, I go, oh my God, I forgot I did that. And you sort of, it puts it into perspective because as an artist, as a person, you're always striving to do more. You're always striving to do better. And I think sometimes it's easy to forget and enjoy the moment of what you're doing because you're always reaching for the next thing. And I am very guilty of that. So when I have those moments where I sort of reflect and go back through, I mean, in this instance, social media is really great because you can kind of go back and see some of the highlights of things you've done. And you go, oh, that was something really cool that maybe I should have taken more time to enjoy and sort of live with instead of reaching forward, because it is easy to forget how much you've done and how much those experiences meant, because in the moment you're just kind of gliding through for the next thing.
In Christmas with the Dead, which I love the movie. I can't wait for it to hit Broadway. I think that's its next logical place to go. If I remember correctly, I own a copy, and we used to have the Halloween tradition, or not the Christmas tradition of watching it every Christmas sometime during the week. But now with the grandkids, it scares the hell out of them. And here's the worst part about it is I'm not a grandfather. They're not my grandkids. They're just kids I collect around the neighborhood and say, I got a movie to show you. So I'm not even a grandfather, but I'm a little bit more cautious with it. But refresh my memory. Did I see, because this is, you could also say Mandela effect. You thought you saw it, Greg, but you didn't because it's changed.
Right.
I remember you being a zombie.
Yes.
And I remember them having you tethered up or something.
Yes. True.
And I remember them feeding you.
Yes. All true.
I'm afraid to say what I remember you eating.
Bring it. Bring it. Say it.
Were you eating dog food?
It was actually warm chili, but it was supposed to be dog food, yes.
Okay, in the movie, it was dog food. Because I'm thinking, how do I ask her about this? How do I ask, you ate dog food, right?
That's right, 100%.
Which, and much like Cannonball, I got to applaud you because you ate the dog food and your hair never got wet. You were still dry.
These are my skills. You know what? Honestly, that was such an experience. I learned really crash course. That was the longest I'd been on camera for anything. And I've learned a lot since then. I really wish we could go back and sort of redo it. And that's where the Broadway version, the musical version, we are actually doing a live showing of it. It's going to be a podcast version first, sort of an audio drama like the one that I'm creating. And then we're going to kind of suss out those characters a little bit more, but it has been made officially into a musical. The songs exist. We did a dry run of it last year in New Hampshire, and it's only a matter of time before it hits a stage near you.
Are you yanking?
I'm
are you pulling
not
the
even
chain?
a little bit, 100% honest. Judy Pankos did the music for it. I did one song for it. She did the rest of it. My brother is adapting it right now, and it's going to be great. We really did do a dry run last fall, and we workshopped the music just to see how people responded. We got notes on it, and then we were working on bringing it to LA, and then of course, once again, pandemic, but it'll come when it's time, and that's the next step. It really is. 100%.
The best projects get there when it's time.
Well, all this year has done is just give us, in the positive way, it's given us more time to work out how we want to move forward creatively.
A key segue about you that I think it's time we discuss. It was a few years ago now. Mm-hmm. I have two, Boychild 1.0 and Boychild 2.0. And Boychild 2.0 was just a wee dude, a wee dude. And he actually worked up the guts to ask your dad permission to marry you.
Oh, wow. First of all, why was I not informed?
So that's what I was kind of leading up to. He has not talked to you about this yet?
I did not get this message.
Oh.
You know what? Rude.
You would think a mojo storyteller would be able to spin that your way. That
that is a missed opportunity.
Well, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. There's still hope. Your dad was very honest, and Boychild 2.0 was still pretty young. I think he was in grade school, and your dad was very
go for it.
your dad was very wise and said, "You have my permission, but you have to finish school first."
That's all. Yes, that's
so he is now in his second or third year of 11th grade.
All right, so
he's getting there. He's getting there.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you a very sad sideways story on that. By the time he graduates, I'm sure that'll pass. I had a kid that I used to babysit, and he said to me, "I'm going to take you to prom." And I don't remember the age difference, but like it was inappropriate. Had it been the other way around, 100%. But coming from him, it was adorable. So by the time he hit prom age, he had a date. And I was so hurt. I said, this whole time, for the last 12 years, you've been telling me you're taking me to prom.
What the hell?
And then he got to 12th grade, and he didn't want me anymore because now I'm an old lady who's back. I'm an old lady with a bad back.
Yeah, well, maybe it was the whole yogi title. Kind of intimidating. It's very intimidating.
Yes. So what I'm saying is like I'm gonna hold out hope, but I'm not gonna pin all my hope because I've been down this road before. And I've been hurt, and I don't want to let it happen again.
I understand. He can be fickle. He can be fickle.
Well, you let me know in 2 years if I get to go to prom or not, because if not,
I'm hoping it's 2 years. Like I said, he's about 6 years into high school, so it might take a little while longer. So I'm hoping it's only a year or two.
All right. Well, I'll be ready. I got my prom dress. I still got the same dress from my prom. I'll just pull it on.
That's cool. That's cool. I don't think I can fit into my prom dress anymore. I forgot to tell you. Wait. Do we have it? We have it, and it's ready to go. Okay. I'm going to post up. This is a picture of you and I when I was trying to get the Restless CD autographed.
Okay.
And it's one of the first times we ever talked to each other. Let me pop this up. This is a trip down memory lane. I absolutely love it. And we found it. So here's a picture of the two of us together. One of the very first times we got to hang out and talk. It's not exactly what I hoped because the photographer kept telling me to scooch over a little bit more. But it's a good picture of you.
Well, you know what? We need to redo. We need to have another in-person meeting and get a new one because that can't be our lasting photo. That surely we've taken a photo.
That's not it. That's not it. When I need promo pictures down the line,
we're ready.
Obviously being a big comic book person growing up, one of my favorites. Because I loved all the usuals, the DC and the Marvel and whatever, but I loved all the horror magazines.
Yeah.
I love those. So I'm watching Greg Nicotaro's. He brings back Creep Show,
right?
And I'm digging it. And I'm like maybe 3-4 episodes in, and I always check the credits. And there's a written by credit that caught my eye.
Yeah.
Did I see you and a flock of Lansdales contribute to the series Creep Show?
You did. It's the first thing I've ever had adapted to film. And it's actually the first thing I ever had published. So it was writers and their kids write spooky stories. So my father was at the helm. My brother and I were there. And I was 8. My brother was 12. And that came out from Random House, X amount of years ago. And then imagine our surprise when Greg says, "Oh, we want to do this," because wait, that's the one you want to do. And Matt Vane did the screenplay, and it turned out to be super fun. I went to the screening at the Egyptian Theater in Hollywood, and I met the guy who played the Scarecrow. And there's a photo of me that is my favorite photo. My friend took it, and it's me with my little hands clasped, and I'm looking up at this guy because he's super tall. So I'm just like, staring at this monster, this guy who plays a monster. And of course, he's looking at me like, who is this crazy kid? And it was really, really cool to see something that's been in your head for that long and getting to see it on the screen. I totally get why people are addicted to churning out this projects, because once you see it, you're just like, oh my God, that's the thing that was in my brain. And everybody can read something and interpret it a different way, but they interpreted it exactly as it's been in my head since I was a child. And so seeing that was really great. And also the history of knowing that I got to do a project like that with my family that's going to be forever alive, and even though my mom's not mentioned, trust me, she did her part, keeping everything organized. So it's like, that's a family thing that I'm always going to have, not just in written text, which unto itself is cool, but now I have the visual of that moment and moments that I remember vividly. I remember sitting around the computer arguing with my brother, arguing with my dad. We've all had our opinions for quite some time. So, and Dad was bigger, so he won most of the time, but not always. So
all of you guys are very humble. You're very honest. I'd be strutting cocky. If I turn on Creep Show, and I see The Companion, and I just go, oh, and I'm looking at the credits. I'm like, oh, I wrote that when I was 8. Oh.
Well, to be fair, it was a team effort, but also, yes. Because the truth is, because it's one of those things where once you do it, it's really cool. But you've moved on, you've done other things, and I think that was another reason that this was double cool, because it's been so long and so many other things have been put out since then. And it's a good reminder that, like, oh, even old work, even original, stories that maybe could use a shine here and there, you start to realize, like, oh, it was pretty cool. And you just you see that, like, everything is a process, everything is a learning curve, and all you can hope is to get better and better and better. And that's what I try to remind myself in those moments. It's easy to say as we're having this conversation because logically it's true. But then I go back and see my very, very first CD, and I'm like, oh God, please nobody listen to that. Please nobody, because you keep getting better. And that's
You're talking about the Restless one that I listen to all the time?
I'm not. I'm talking about I'm talking about the way back.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, don't you dare. Don't you dare.
No, Restless, you know what? Restless, I'm really proud of, because that I went through hell and back to get that thing out.
Yeah.
And I'm very glad that it's there. And it came out in a year that was a tough personal year for me. So it was a very big win for me to have that. And it was also the year that Impossible Monsters came out. So that was my first anthology. So, there's a lot of moments in there that are kind of intertwined. It's like when you hear music and it transports you back to that place. When I have these projects that come out, I sort of transports back to these moments.
So you edited Impossible Monsters, correct?
Yes.
So you edited that.
Yes.
At the same time you were putting together Restless.
Yes.
and then add whatever personal stuff is going on in your life and everything else.
Yeah.
Just those two things alone, which are almost different hemispheres of the brain.
Yeah. And I was traveling and gigging and doing a lot of touring at the time. So I had a story. It was one of the first stories I sold that I'd like a redo on it. But I had turned it in, and the editor was writing me. He's like, what city are you in now? Here's some notes. And I'd say, what city, what about tonight? And I'd turn some notes. And every night we were in a new city because we were just covering that ground, getting those radio stops in. So we'd get back to the hotel. We'd get up at 5, go do the first radio spot between 6 and 8. Then we'd do the second radio spot between about 10 and 12. And then the third spot between 2 and 4. Get back to the hotel, have dinner, and then I'd work on the stuff. And then the next morning we were out. We were to a different city. And it was that day after day after day after day. And that was when I realized, like, ooh, I'm not built for this.
You're all Lansdales, and that's a special
Or worse.
that's a special creature there. Unbelievable kudos to the superhero known as Mom.
Oh, well, you know what? It really is. She doesn't get the limelight because she doesn't want the limelight. She's not a seeker. You know, she's a doer, and she does everything behind the scenes. She makes sure that everybody has on pants, everybody gets to where they need to go. She does all the paperwork, she does all the mailing, she does all the taxes, she does a lot of the editing before it gets to the editors, and you know, also just being Mom. So I could really, really go on and on and on, but she gets the least amount of credit. You know, the Horror Writers Association exists because of her. You know, back before it was when it was Howl. You know,
Yeah.
and he was writing the newsletters and licking the stamps and doing fundraisers to get the money to, I mean, all of these things that people have no idea how much.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and most people don't. You know, that if you look up Howl, Howl, and you look up Karen Lansdale, you'll see that she started the Horror Writers Association, and it was her, Dad, and Dean Koontz, and Dean was putting money towards it, and Mom was getting everything going, and you know, before faxes and mailing out newsletters, you know, getting them back, getting the mailing list together, doing all that kind of stuff before we computered or faxed or any of that, you know. So
Wow.
Those are the kinds of contributions that she's made that people have no idea. And I do think she got an acknowledgement award a couple years ago, but you know, if you weren't in that room, then you probably didn't hear about it.
That acknowledgement award, knowledge. They have the award named after her.
And I agree. I would agree.
I'm going to call people who know people who talk to people and see what I can do.
You do. And you know what? I mean, Dad'll say, I can't remember which book it was. It might have been Jane Goes North or Fender Lizards. And he has a dedication to one of them that says, to my mom, you know, to Karen, but in one way or another, aren't they all? And I always think like that, you know, it's true. In one way or another, we're all doing what we're doing because she said, hey, Joe, take off 3 months and write while I go work at the fire department and let's see what happens. And we see what happened.
Boychild 1.0 and 2.0, wanting a picture with your dad.
Uh-huh.
And they're standing there with your dad. And I said, Miss Karen, you got to get in there too.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, I wouldn't take the picture until she got in. So I have a picture of your mom and dad with my boys.
That's
so
nice.
It's very cool.
The rare Karen Lansdale shot.
I have a sighting.
And she's just very she's very camera shy. She's very shy. And Lord, she'd have to be to get a word in edgewise around the rest of us. You know, thank goodness that she doesn't need the spotlight the way we all do, because she really is the backbone of everything, really.
Yeah, she's very, very, I'm in awe of her. Because like I said, I know all about the three of you.
Well,
and
thank you.
That takes a superhero.
It is not easy. It is not easy. Like, I'm exhausted with me daily. I cannot imagine. You know, every day I'm like, what have you done?
I'm going to go to my people. I'm going to go to the ones who buy my music, the ones who see my movies, you know, and support me in what I do. And you went ahead and you performed live on Finding Bigfoot.
You know what? All of these things are true. You know what? But in all sincerity, another thing that turned out to be one of the best experiences I've had, because when I got a call from the producer, do you want to be on Finding Bigfoot? I was like, oh God, I don't know. That sounds like exactly what it sounds like, right? And then you do it, and it turns out everybody's lovely. Some of the people that were cast and crew, I'm still in touch with on a regular basis. It was one of the nicest experience. Again, an experience that I thought was going to be a nightmare that turned out to be wonderful. And I don't know what that says about me, that I'm sort of expecting it all to be a nightmare, but you hear these horror stories, especially in anything to do with reality television.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to be sure that I'm always portrayed as who I am, not necessarily good or bad, but as me. And I have not always heard those editing stories. So that experience of going on Finding Bigfoot was really, really great. They came out to the Cash Cabin when I was still in Nashville. They got to meet John Carter Cash and got to see where Johnny Cash did his last recording. They took me out into the woods. And the interesting thing is I thought it was just like made for TV. So I was like, all right, we'll just go find a patch of woods and go hunt for Bigfoot. Cool. And we didn't. We actually went out into the forest where there have been sightings, and we hunted for Bigfoot. I learned about what's called knocking, which is like a Bigfoot call, the hollering, and it just turned out to be so much fun. And talk sincerely of my people, people who believe, people who want to believe, people who are adventurers, people who are sort of, I'm going to be so bold as to say outliers of society. It just people who want there and truly believe that there is more to what's going on. I think they sound like the most fun because everybody there was just like a big family. So I came into what was already a family, already a community. And luckily they were just really kind. And I had just moved to LA. So it was also great because they were all people that now were like, oh, you just moved here? Let me tell you where to go. Let me show you this. And so it was just like a welcoming committee right upon my arrival, which was just, another great thing.
It's kind of a fear factor thing. And it's like we were talking about before, challenging ourselves. I would love one year when all of this is over, all the craziness stuff, I would love to come to like a Lansdale Thanksgiving dinner and see how long I last.
You are 100% invited. We constantly are inviting people to things like that.
I would love to see how long I last.
Oh, you'd fit right in. As long as you don't mind that the dog will take whatever chair you're sitting in, then you're totally fine.
I come from a family of dog lovers. My sister is actually a dog trainer.
Okay.
I don't think anyone's ever touched her carpet because you literally step from dog to dog. That's how many dogs she has.
Well, that's a lot. We just have the one, but he's plenty. Trust me. Anytime I go home to visit, he'll find his little seat, and then you go sit down, and then he takes your little seat. And during Thanksgiving, you're juggling the plate and fighting the dog. So as long as you're up for that, the more the merrier.
I'd keep leaning. I'd waste I'd spend so much time leaning over your dad going, Joe, so what's up? You never mentioned the Boychild 2.0 proposal thing? I thought we signed off on it.
Because now I wonder, like, all right, well, what else has he been keeping from me? Because, like, does he just not want me to be happy? What's going on, Dad? Do you hate me? What have I done to you? Not good. I'm
going to pitch you on this before I leave, before we sign off and I say adieu. I'm going to pitch you on this. All the biggest stars have a Christmas special. From Andy Williams to Dolly Parton, all the way up. They have a Christmas special. This is dropping on Christmas Eve.
What? Well.
So you're on the first annual Funky Werepig Christmas show as our special guest, as the guest, not the special.
I am honored. I am the special guest.
we could make this an annual thing.
You know what? I'm so down. I would love to.
We will. You're down. That means up. Okay. Because I was like, because I've heard guests say that too. I am so depressed. We just say goodnight. We could do like the Funky Werepig / KASEY Lansdale Christmas special every year.
Oh, don't tease me. Don't tease me.
We could bring it.
I would be very, very happy to do it.
KASEY, I always love spending time with you, and I wish I could spend another week and a half because we barely even scratched the surface of all the cool things.
Oh my God, I want to tell you all about I totally forgot, and I want to tell you about the podcast, but we'll have to put that as part B.
As part B. So thank you once again, and we will merge the Wang with the Chung very, very soon. So, ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause. The very versatile and incredibly powerful being known as KASEY Lansdale.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
girl, my mama said to me, bad boys are a good time, but eventually they'll leave. Find yourself a good boy, one who won't break your heart. 'Cause if you love a bad boy, first the good girl loves a bad boy, and the bad boy makes her cry. And then the good girl becomes the bad girl, 'cause she's learned how to lie. Then the bad girl finds a good boy and leaves him broken hearted. And that's how the good girl, bad girl, good boy thing gets started. In this life, there's a lot of lessons you will learn. Sometimes it's the hard way, and sometimes you get burned. Every time you break a heart, you're making a heartbreaker. Another love goes up in flames, here comes the undertaker. First the good girl loves a bad boy, and the bad boy makes her cry. And then the good girl becomes the bad girl, 'cause she's learned how to lie. Then the bad girl finds a good boy and leaves him broken hearted. And that's how the good girl, bad girl, good boy thing gets started. First the good girl loves a bad boy, and the bad boy makes her cry. Then the good girl becomes the bad girl, 'cause she's learned how to lie. Then the bad girl finds a good boy and leaves him broken hearted. And that's how the good girl, bad girl, good boy thing gets started. First the good girl loves the bad boy, and the bad boy makes her cry. And then the good girl becomes a bad girl, 'cause she's learned how to lie. Then the bad girl finds a good boy and leaves him broken hearted. And that's how the good girl, bad girl, good boy thing gets started. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm a bad girl. I'm a bad girl.
Singer-songwriter, actress, author. Swing by KASEYLANSDALE.com to enjoy her music, share her TV and movie projects, and dive into her latest publications. KASEYLANSDALE.com. You can also find Kasey on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and most other social media outlets.
Give me a G flat. Perfect. Crawled out of the bog and he's eating all the frogs. It's Lonnie, the world's ugliest dog. Me!
I'm bragging about my buddy. And this is so cool. My friend Violet S. Moon sent this to me. Violet's Cherokee Cookbook is traditional recipes, is the only cookbook to earn the official seal of the Cherokee Nation. And it's got recipes for breads and meats, vegetables, even a special section on teas. That's how groovy this thing is. This should be the cookbook we use every Thanksgiving, if you think about it. And dig this. Do we have the thingy? Can we put up the thingy? All the proceeds go to the Cherokee Respond, Recover, and Rebuild Elder Assistance. Now that is a beautiful cause. I'm going to make me some ugama. That's right. I'm pretty sure I just made my indigenous friends very proud. Because I didn't want to just say potato soup. Who am I? Who am I? That's right. A guy who's going to go for it. You're damn right.
Like a clock on a wall said ding ding dong, it's time to check the monkey clock. You know, the batteries in the monkey clock died long ago, so when I look up and I see that the time is 10 after 12, that is the correct time. Because one does not argue with monkey clock.
Got to give Harroinks and hugs to our big time special guest, KASEY LANSDALE. You know, you did everything for us. A phenomenal interview. You made us laugh. We even kicked Bahookie with the music. So I'm telling you, you think I'm joking. We need to do this every year. The annual Funky Werepig KASEY LANSDALE Christmas special. All the big stars have them. Don't you think it's about time you do too? High fives and disco hip bumps. The Magic Farmers Incorporated. Maggie Renee. Goat Boy. Iva Slasher November Malone. President James K. Polk. McCoy. And the superhero duo of Zach Savage and Nevada Bob. Coming up in January next month, our season finale. Yes, we're going to take a quick break. So this upcoming Barnyard Bash is probably going to be like the best one ever. And then, but don't sweat it. I mean, we'll be back in the springtime in April. Which reminds me. Oh. If you hadn't had a chance yet, I know a lot of you guys hit the big episodes, but there's those little quick hitters we do in between just to keep you busy throughout the month. A week or so ago, I did one called The New Funky New Year. I would really love for you guys to check it out before this New Year's runs around. It might change your life. I'm actually, it's a seminar I do. I'm actually probably, if I'm not too busy, going to take it before the Supreme Court next year. But not right now because I'm too busy thinking to be thinking. All right, man, I got to get out of here. It's getting late. And if I don't get to bed soon, then Krampus won't come over. And every year he comes, he stops by. We do some shots of schnapps and he puts me in a bag and beats me with branches. And he don't do that if you're still awake. That's the rules. So with that being said, all you beautiful piggy petters, thank you so much for everything. And I love every chance we get to party. So do yourselves a favor, smile a lot over the holidays, wear a comfy shirt, don't change it, and call somebody. Don't just text them. Actually do like an old-fashioned phone call with somebody you haven't talked to in a while. So I'm going to talk to somebody I haven't talked to in a little bit, and that's JJ. JJ, if you would, we got to throw those pants in the air like we just don't care and put the needle to the record. And if you would do that, sir, know how much I appreciate you. And, the song you're about to play? Make it something funky.
For Christmas, I sent Gwyneth Paltrow a candle called JJ's Musk.